Hey everybody, Kelly Tompkins here with Mint Fresca. Okay, thanks so much for watching. If you're watching, if you are new to me, I am an intuitive, creative artist, designer, and illustrator. I also do astrology, human design, and feng shui. I like to combine all of the things for like holistic creative transformations and other inner journeys. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, I would love to connect with you. I'm just trying some new things by sharing some oracle cards for however little while long, some weeks, a month, however long feels good to me. And this is the second week we are here talking about the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle deck made by Alana Fairchild, really super fun. And I'll go ahead and just get right into it. So, the card for this week is this one, Her Hand Gentles the War. And it's got beautiful Kuan Yin there with two bulls going head to head in a battle, and she is separating them. And this card is really all about internal conflict primarily, but in the concept of oneness spiritually and in the Tao, you know, we are all connected. Everything is one, everything is source, everything is part of the same incredible existence and universe experiencing itself. So if you're experiencing internal battles, they can sometimes be a reflection of what's going on outside and around you. And simultaneously, on the other hand, if there is a lot of like fear or anxiety or things going on, battles that are going on in the global collective, it's really easy to feel that energy internally and inside of us. We all have a responsibility to focus on how we feel every day, and that's often the most that we can do sometimes when we're like going through tumultuous battles, either internally or externally. You know, we can't choose what happens to us, but we can often choose how we respond or what lessons we're going to take from the experiences as we move forward. So this card is all about not making things any harder on yourself than they already are. This card is probably a good card for me. Maybe it's good for you too, but it's really easy to beat yourself up over things that happened. It's really easy to ruminate. It's really easy to like think about all of the things that went wrong and just make yourself feel bad about it, feel guilty, feel ashamed, you know, want to hide. And while that's a natural reaction to whatever kind of battle it is that you've been through, it's not necessarily the most helpful way through. So a more helpful thing that you can do is to face yourself with mercy and compassion, just like beautiful Kuan Yin. She's the goddess of mercy and compassion. So give yourself compassion for the things that you've experienced. Forgive yourself for whatever choices you've made that brought you to where you are, that maybe you feel frustrated by. You know, don't beat yourself up. Don't feed those internal battles any more energy, because they're already taking up a lot of your resources. And if you don't address some of these internal battles, if you fail to gentle the war, if you fail to give yourself some internal peace, then you will continue to essentially lose energy, and you may find yourself feeling like defeated or hopeless or listless. Like, you know, it can be easy to slide into depression or things like that. And so it's just something to be aware of when there's already so much going on in the world. Like, we humans are not perfect and we make mistakes sometimes, and it's really important for you to learn how to forgive yourself and to Show yourself the feeling of compassion. Show yourself what mercy feels like. And that will lead you toward more of that inner peace that you desperately seek and need. And this isn't to say that like all battles are bad. Sometimes tension and conflict is good because it can indicate that you are experiencing growth, growing pains, for example. But sometimes we just get stuck in the cortisol and the fight or flight and the adrenaline of battles, and we start, getting stuck in this desire to fight, and we start picking fights, or we start nitpicking, or we start looking for things that resonate with that will to want to battle. And I invite you to notice some of that desire to fight mindfully. If this is something that's coming up for you, if you're feeling a lot of internal rage or struggles or anxiety, just notice them. Don't make any extra judgments about the feelings that you're experiencing. If you can, I know it's a little bit more difficult than it sounds, easier said than done, but let the feelings arise and pass and fall through you without making any additional stories about them. Like sometimes feelings arise, and if you make those feelings that you're experiencing out to be a greater story than just the experience of the feeling, then you're not necessarily controlling your reaction. You're kind of constantly on the reacting, the defensive, the responding side of the equation, rather than having the control and the willpower and the calm and the space to respond with integrity. So that's what I invite you to consider this week. What are the ways in which you have been making yourself feel bad for things that you can relieve yourself of? Like what school marm is inside of you, like scolding you, and how can you say, I see you, school marm, I hear you, school marm, but we're gonna quiet down right now and just like sit. We're gonna just sit in silence, and we're just gonna, forgive ourselves, show some mercy, show some compassion, and try to come back to a place of internal peace. So ways that you can do this, I recommend writing down some of the the cycles, like the spinning out, the ruminations. Write down some of those thoughts. For me today, I had a revelation when I was asking for some support from my friends, and I realized that it made me feel really guilty. It made me feel like I'm an inconvenience to support. And so I challenged myself by writing opposite beliefs after I realized that, and I noted that to my friends too, and they reaffirmed that they love and support me, so I'm not making it up. But also, those were the things that I wrote down. I was like, I'm not an inconvenience to my friends. My clients love to support me. People support my vision and my business. We all together envision a world where we can live with beauty and joy and peace and support each other. I realized I had a lot of internal beliefs about needing to like bootstrap and do everything myself, and by challenging those beliefs, we like rely on each other as a community. We actually have a responsibility to care for each other, and it's like physically impossible to survive all by yourself. If you're just a human out in the woods living by yourself, you maybe don't have any like communication or relationship or personal problems, but it's still difficult to survive. And this life is not about learning how to do things on our own and being independent. It's about learning to work with our community and like working within our relationships and nurturing our relationships and finding ways that we can support ourselves while also supporting each other to create a community that thrives creatively, beautifully, functionally, and respectfully. Like I truly believe that we can do that. And it's easy for me to forget that I have that mission and value sometimes when I get stuck in my negative ruminations and my negative perspectives. Sometimes when that happens, though, I just need to shift my energy. And there are plenty of ways to shift your energy. It might be specific to you and depending on what you like to do, but ways that you can clear your energy if you're feeling really negative towards yourself. Open your windows, smudge your house with incense. Try to not use sage because it's oversourced. You can use any resinous woody brush like oregano or rosemary or yarrow. Like go out into your garden and find some hard sticks and dry them and smoke those around the house, smudge them. And other things you can do, listen to music that makes you feel good. You can also just clap around the house, clap around your spaces, clap around your body. I've got those like little arthritis Chinese medicine balls. Sometimes I'll use those and clear my energy with sound. You can do chakra waterfall meditations. You can do crystal grids to clear your energy. You can dance, you can do yoga, you can do rituals. Like there's so many different things, so many different ways. If you would like some support or need any help figuring out what ways work for you, please contact me. Let's connect. I would love to see if I can help you figure out a way to clear your energy that feels really good to you. Because we all have a responsibility to, like I said before, like focus on how we feel. Focus on how we're responding. So if the world is in turmoil, it's really important for us to find some inner peace so that what's inside and what's outside can match in frequency. And sometimes that's the most control that we have, is just to work on ourselves, which is why I invite you to do that. So I think that's all I have to say about gentling the war inside of you. Let that conflict go. If you miss it, you can always start beating yourself up again later, but take a break. Like, just be kind to yourself. I think it was Anne Carson, correct me if I'm wrong, Poetry Friends, who said, I called you on the phone to say, be kinder to yourself. Something like that. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this content, I invite you to either subscribe to my channel or follow me on the internet. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Mint Fresca. You can also, sorry, there's a loose dog outside that I'm watching run around. I don't know whose dog that is. You can also find me at my personal website, mintfresca.com. I would love to connect with you. I can't wait to hear, like, if this is helpful to you or if you learned anything. Please don't hesitate to ask me any questions or reach out for support. Okay, thank you again. Talk to you next week.